What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the red color, playing as Hades, building a granary. His name is Brickhead. His opponent today playing as Hades as well. We got the Hades mirror. His name is Punkstar. The map is Alfheim, and this is a very, very low hunt Alfheim. We see two elks start here, which Punkstar is on. Brickhead, on the other hand, decided to just go on to the chickens here to start the game off. Did he get hunting dogs as well? Looks like he hasn't even grabbed hunting dogs. He sees the two elk and he's like, I'm not falling for this trick. There is a world where not getting hunting dogs is worth it. But that world is not this map. There's plenty of deer here. He has to find those. We'll see how things are going to go. Hades mirror on Alfheim. I'm interested to see what's going to happen here, because on the one hand here, this matchup can be really, really boring. It really depends on how the players are going to go for it. On the one hand, if the players decide to go for town centers first and don't try and put any aggression onto their opponent, then it can be really tough, a really slow game. On the other hand, if the players decide to be really aggressive super early with like fast advances, getting their Hippocon out early and try to pressure enemy town centers, pressure the hunt, it can be a really fun matchup. So it really just depends on how the players want to play. As we do see that Brickhead has found his hunt. He does click the hunting dogs, but he hasn't moved over there just yet. Meanwhile, Punkstar's moved over onto this location. He's going for the 3 granary start. He will need 3 villagers on wood, however, to make that work. But with the 1 storehouse here, being next to the wood line and the gold mine, this is really, really big for Punkstar. He probably actually didn't need to have as many villagers on wood as he has right now, because you can see he's already got the resources to drop the temple and probably could have got that up regardless. But we do see villagers now moving up onto the hunt on this location as well. And Punkstar's opening here, he's got to be really happy about what he's managed to do in this game compared to what Brickhead's doing here. As Brickhead, he actually had an opportunity to share the storehouse as well, but decided not to do so. So he's had to throw down 2 storehouses. He hasn't found his caribou just yet, quite a ways away from his home town center. But Brickhead does have the majority of his villagers out on that secondary hunt on the deer, so no real problems there. But we'll see what sort of an advance time here Punkstar's going to be getting as he gets his temple down, and what sort of an advance time Brickhead's going to be getting here. So the arguments here for advancing fast, there's a couple of reasons. So one, if your opponent plays aggressive, advancing fast means you're most likely going to be able to get your town center up and find an advantage there. But if you advance slow and your opponent also goes for a fast second town center with a faster advance time, you can actually get yourself 3 town centers up really, really quickly to find an advantage. As we do see the Ajax is out, going to be searching around the map to grab some relics. Most likely there is the Wedget Eye here. Pretty big relic here to reduce the cost of myth units, especially in the late game where you might want to be getting some Colossus out, though in the Hades mirror, myth units not the best because of Perseus. Another relic on the map down the bottom that has been uncovered is the Fetters of Fenrir. Not going to be that useful here with not very much hunt on the map. And there's also the Harmonious Necklace here. That's a great relic to be finding, as Punkstar will pick up the Wedget Eye, and he's going to be moving over here to put some pressure onto Brickhead, as Brickhead's still not advanced to the next age. A very, very late advance time here from Brickhead. We'll see how it's going to go, as Punkstar is going to have a lot of advantage here. Now, if I'm Punkstar, I'm thinking, okay, at what moment here is Brickhead going to be advancing to the next age? If you've got any idea about what's actually happening here, you can say, all right, I don't need to go for a town center. I can be aggressive here. If I be aggressive here and prevent a town center from coming up, that's a huge advantage to have, as we do see the scout coming through for Punkstar. He's going to be blocking that villager. Picks off 1 villager there, as Brickhead's not able to escape with that one. So first blood has been drawn here. Brickhead's later advance time is not going to be helpful in the slightest here. In fact, Brickhead and Punkstar are equal villagers at this point, as the villagers do get pulled off the line there. Going to start harassing the Ajax, as we do see now Punkstar. I mean, he can grab that Ford town center if he wants. He's almost got the resources to grab it. He's getting himself a Chiron here, as the Ajax is now harassing Punkstar's villagers, as Punkstar going to be retreating that one back to the tower as fast as he possibly can there. Still no town center getting dropped, as Brickhead not having the resources to drop that town center either. Will be able to get himself that Chiron out immediately as well. And the big question is, where does Punkstar go to get himself a town center? Both players look like they are not going to be going for an aggressive play here, as we do see the Minotaur coming in onto this position here to be pushing off these villagers off this location, as the Minotaur comes over there to try and deal with the enemy Minotaur. Both Minotaurs hit each other at this point, as the Ajax here can start getting some damage done, but the Chiron is in on this position, as the Chiron is going to be a big problem here, as we do see the villagers getting pulled off of the line there to try and deny the town center, as the Minotaur over here getting chased away, as the Chiron coming through for Punkstar. Both players, we see 6 villagers for Brickhead to harass, as we do see the villagers getting pulled off. Snipes one villager there. Good play by Punkstar, as the Chiron coming in to start harassing everything. We see the town center is coming up over here for Brickhead, as the villagers do stop this town center over here. Maybe Punkstar is going to have to grab this one on this location, as well as he does pull the villagers off the gold mine here. Lots of resources in the bank here. Punkstar might want to just grab this town center over here as well, as he's got the resources to get himself that town center. He can pull these villagers off of wood and chuck them over onto gold for the time being, to get the forward town center up as well. As the Ajax pulls back, the Minotaur going to be surviving there. Brickhead's Minotaur 96 HP, Punkstar's Minotaur 101 HP, as the army fighting off a little bit in the middle here. I think Brickhead does obviously win that fight there, as the Ajax here very low HP, and the Chiron kind of equally low HP on those positions there. But after all is said and done, Brickhead gets his town center up first. He's getting himself hand axe here, as walls starting to come through. Villagers in the main base are on berries as well. Plenty of villagers on berries. There are a handful of elk left in the main base here for Brickhead to grab as well. But now we see the boom war starting to happen. And after all is said and done, while Brickhead did get the town center up first, Punkstar has got the villager advantage. But Punkstar needs to start those villagers out, or Brickhead will catch up here. As he's currently 0% here. If he starts that villager first, he does start catching up. Punkstar still not starting the villagers, as he's a little bit distracted here. And there he goes. 7 minutes and 40 seconds there, as it's basically even after all is said and done. Basically even, except Punkstar's had access to a little bit more hunt than Brickhead. But Brickhead, well, yeah. Basically even. We could say that. I don't know. So now Brickhead going to be retreating back. Walls coming up all over the place. I imagine Brickhead's going to be attempting to throw down this town center as well. Be surprised if he doesn't actually go for it. Considering he's got the 300 gold just about to come in. Villagers going to be dumping the food there. Pulling off of the berries for the time being. How many villagers on food at the moment, though? He's got himself only 10 villagers on food. Farm starting to come down here. You've got to be a little bit careful about these. You've got to be a little bit careful about which villagers you have on food, so that you can continue to build villages. Just getting the town center up is not quite smooth here. As Punkstar's throwing down all of his farms first. He doesn't really need to do this. I like that Brickhead has opted to get the town center up first before he starts massing all the farms down. This is going to be a huge advantage for Brickhead coming through. Even though Punkstar has got the villager lead for the time being, getting the town center up first, he can also potentially prevent this town center from coming up as well if he starts getting some units up, which could be an option for Brickhead, as Punkstar has now decided to bring his villagers forward. He's going to be going for this town center as well, a little bit behind Punkstar, but behind Brickhead, I should say, but we'll see if it's going to matter. Brickhead here, if he can delay this town center for about a minute, he will be able to catch up on villagers, if not be in front on villagers here. As the Chiron in position to defend, but there's nothing else over here for the time being. So, I mean, you do have a full HP Ajax now, so it's going to be relatively close. Brickhead could just send villagers over here and villager fight this as well if he so chooses. We'll see how things are going to go as the Ajax Chiron fighting each other off here. Looks like Punkstar's Chiron will end up winning this fight. You can't actually dodge the Chiron arrows. Chiron is one of the few ranged units, as well as Odysseus and Hippolyta, one of the few ranged units who can hit units faster than 5.0 speed. I think it's got a track rating of 6, even though it says 5 in my tooltip. I think it's a track rating of 6. It might be a track rating of 5.5, though. I'm not 100% sure. But Punkstar now, 3 town centers. Brickhead has got the advantage in the villager count by just a little bit here as the game continues along here. Now starting to see some stables, archery ranges coming up on this position, and Brickhead going to be walling off the entirety of the map. It's really important to go for your corners here, kind of first and foremost. Snipe these wolves off with heroes or something. Get in onto this corner, wall this off nice and early. We do see that Punkstar is already in here, but these wolves are going to be tough to deal with. He's going to have to actually do some cheekiness here to keep the wolves at bay. We'll see if he's going to manage to do that, or if the wolves will kill off that villager. As we do see the villagers over here getting sniped down. Toxotes coming in to get a little bit of harass onto Punkstar's economy here. But Punkstar at this point, he is starting to go very fast to that next age. It's kind of... This matchup is kind of silly once the town centers come up because the buildings are so strong that you don't have anything to worry about. All you really need to do is put walls down and just rush second, third, fourth ages in this matchup, because there's just nothing you can do. Building Toxotes here isn't something that I'm the biggest fan of, and we do indeed see the wolf does manage to take down the villager as the walls are not able to come up there in that corner of the map. Meanwhile, we do see the units here for Brickhead coming in. They're going to be sniping those wolves off most likely here as he checks to see what's happening. The villager going to be coming through. The wall's getting broken down here. Maybe Brickhead's going to be meeting the same fate that Punkstar met here as his villager starting to get harassed. Oh dear. Oh dear. These wolves too strong. They're going to be very fat wolves. But Aphrodite going to hit first for Punkstar. The question is going to be, what does he do after this? Because, I mean, personally, just go to the Mythic Age shift through Hephaestus, play it nice and slow, and start setting up on this position. If you can get a positional advantage here to push through onto this town center, utilizing this tree here, you can see that Punkstar's got, and Brickhead have got some walls here, but easily break down this wall, put a wall up over here, put some Petropoli into this position here to start harassing this town center. You can have a very, very strong game there. As the villager here, going to get sniped down as well. Brickhead here just about able to go to that next age, as well as Shaft Mine Irrigation coming through for Punkstar. Apollo on the way. Watchtowers on the way for Brickhead as well. As we see a marker coming up in the very corner of the map. An interesting position here. I'm wondering why he didn't try and go to the corner, but he will be able to put these walls up very, very shortly. Meanwhile, Brickhead is over on this position, and if he's got an inkling here, he should be able to push over here and deny these walls from coming up and potentially secure this corner for himself here. He's got all the army up, or Punkstar has all the army up. He's actually looking to push forward. Brickhead, on the other hand here, we have seen the first deviation here. And we'll talk a little bit about this, about the advantages that come from Apollo versus about Aphrodite. So Aphrodite gives access to the Divine Blood upgrade, which increases your economy, increases your village's speed, increases your village's build time. Whereas Apollo doesn't really give any of that. Apollo's economic advantage comes in the shape of Temple of Healing, which obviously can heal your units up, which is going to be an economic advantage as well. But you get access to an underworld. An underworld is gigantic in this matchup because it allows you to hit a back town center where your opponent is not. So what Punkstar is doing here, going through Aphrodite, is he's saying, I'm going to defend whatever underworld you do to me, and I'm going to find an advantage in the late game utilizing the Aphrodite technology. Divine Blood here. Now, Curse obviously going to have a slight advantage in the earlier stages of the game as well. So potentially here, if Punkstar can put Brickhead on the back foot, potentially get in onto this position here as well, put walls down here, get a fortress or something on that position there, he's going to have a good time. Punkstar will be hitting that Mythic Age first here after all is said and done. There's an archery range coming down on this position to start potentially building those Gastrophetes, to start harassing town centers and things like that. As Brickhead has basically cut villages for the time being here in an effort to catch up. Well, he's building some hoplites, but Hephaestus is now clicked up. Brickhead, little bit behind here as these walls are getting broken down. Brickhead will be fairly fairly sure that he needs to get into this corner and stop this, as we do see an archery range coming up in the very corner of the map. Very sneaky there from Punkstar. This is now sitting on this position with his army. Still no fortress coming up here. I think if he can throw the fortress up on this position, he's going to be in a great spot, but he hasn't done that just yet. He's going for those armories, fortified town centers coming through. Some random villagers coming forward here for Brickhead. I'm not sure what his plan is at this point, as the army now going after this town center with all of those Hippocon. He's forcing the Sentinels out here, but he's not really going to be able to do all too much, as we do see Carpenters coming through for Brickhead. Medium cavalry does come through as well. So the Ajax will start getting sniped down there, as the unit's going to be getting pulled back for the time being. And Curse does get dropped here as the units pull back underneath the town center. Brickhead's at 135 or 145 population. The Curse does not do all too much. Brickhead, for the moment, has defended, but a 30-second, 45-second-ish advantage here for Punkstar in terms of getting to the Mythic Age here. So he's going to have some sort of an advantage here, so long as he grabs all of his upgrades and spends that first, as we do see Forge of Olympus is up. Still no fortress here for Punkstar, so he's really missing a huge advantage here that he could be grabbing. Same too for Brickhead. Both players without a fortress at this point. As we do see one coming down on this position, but the advantage for getting the fortress up early here means you can get yourself Heliopolis training immediately, as we do see Restoration coming through there for Brickhead. Restoration also coming through secondly there for Punkstar. Punkstar fighting underneath this town center with an upgraded army plus more resources with the Plenty Vault. He should be fine to maintain this sort of aggression. Plus, he's going to get those Hades Shades. Same too for Brickhead. He's going to be able to get those Hades Shades. We see Forge of Olympus coming through, a full minute of advantage here for Punkstar as he starts the Copper Shields, Copper Weapons, Copper Mail upgrades immediately, pulling back as that fortress is almost up. As Brickhead able to start making some sort of a movement forward with only 4 villagers on this fortress. There's a world here where Brickhead can just tear this fortress down. And there is an opening here as well for that Punkstar has left. Meanwhile, walls up on this corner here. We do see a marker coming up for Brickhead, as Brickhead's going to have to deal with this as well at some point, as the fortress is now up, getting torn down by a Colossus, as we do see the Heliopolis coming through. There's not really any heroes here for Punkstar at the moment, and no Perseus here either to one-hit the Colossus, as Punkstar's fortress does end up falling. Bronze Weapons, Bronze Mail, Masons coming through for Punkstar as well, as the units here pulling back ever so slightly, and Brickhead finding somewhat of an advantage here, but Bronze Mail, Bronze Weapons coming in first for Punkstar does mean he has still yet another slight advantage here to fight, as he's going to forever be in front, at least until Iron comes in front on tech, and Brickhead's economy is really, really hurting here, as Punkstar waiting for his upgrades to come through here. Pulls back, we see Champion, Archers, Medium Infantry coming through. Pegasus coming in for Brickhead, as Brickhead might be considering, he's got himself the fortress up, he's making himself some Heliopolis here. Making himself a Heliopolis here. As the Pegasus can push through now and try and get onto this back town center. If he gets out enough of these siege weapons, he can hit this location very, very hard. Meanwhile, Bronze Weapons, Copper Mail coming in. Iron Weapons coming through for Punkstar is going to be a big, big assistance as he's retreating away for some reason. I'm not sure exactly what the plan is. That's why he's retreating. He had the Spidey sensors as the Underworld Passage coming through for Brickhead. Now the villagers here attempting to repair this one back up. Punkstar does have Masons, does have fortified town centers. Levy coming through as well for Punkstar. Full Iron on the way now for Punkstar as well. So by all metrics, he should be able to win this fight. We'll see how he's going to go. He needs to get all of his army, all of his reinforcements coming in onto this position to deal with this, as it does seem like Brickhead is getting pushed back at this point as Bronze Mail and Bronze Shield still aren't in. Full Iron basically in here for Punkstar. Punkstar sitting at 146 or 160 population as the village is going to come over here and start shanking down. He needs to get onto that Heliopolis here as well as the Colossus coming back in to help on this position. Burning Pitch coming through for Brickhead as well as he might want to consider making some Gastrophetes here. Still no Fortress up for Punkstar. Plenty of resources in the bank. We do see a Fortress in the corner here for Brickhead as some champion Toxotes coming in to cause some problems in that corner there as well. As now it seems like, I mean, Punkstar's just got so many resources in the bank. He's full pop. He is full armor. He just needs like champion, infantry champion Hippocon to be basically full tech in terms of the military. And Brickhead's army is completely ruined here in this game. And Punkstar, I mean, obviously I can see where he needs to attack. This position here is a huge, huge liability for Brickhead. It's out of line of sight. There's a wall that can come out of line of sight. Petropolis with engineers easily going to be able to take that town center down. But we're seeing Punkstar still throwing fortresses up, getting caught out here, and he's simply just taking too much time here at this point. And this Underworld here for Punkstar, that Punkstar has had to deal with, has given Brickhead enough time to kind of get himself all of his upgrades. As we do see the Hippocon coming in now to start harassing these units. Champion infantry coming in as well. The usage of Hippocon at this point in the game, not that useful here. So Punkstar can actually stop building those, start building towers, and start putting pressure in onto this position. As Brickhead's retreating back, he's still finding it difficult. He's now getting himself Iron Weapons, Iron Shields, and Sarissa. So he is on the way here in this game to catching up in terms of tech, as we're seeing Punkstar yet again trying to put this fortress down. As a raid going to be coming through here as the Heliopolis breaking through onto this position, and Brickhead now pushing through with villages. He's got a few resources in the bank here to drop some military buildings to cause some problems here for Punkstar. As Punkstar pulls his villagers off here, he's going to be attempting to stop this fortress from coming up. He plants the villagers right in the middle of that fortress as well, as the unit's still trying to break through this fortress coming up for Punkstar. He's got so many resources. Just start putting towers down. You just have to start putting buildings down everywhere here, as the resources, I mean, Punkstar's just not losing units. So, and Brickhead is. This is why, I mean, even then, Brickhead is now kind of full upgrades, getting himself guard towers as well. As the Punkstar units pushing through here, going to try and get this wall back up. A handful of units defending on this position as well. As we do see Punkstar trying to get these walls up to try and get some Petropolis out here. It is important to not just put walls down, but also to get towers down here as well. As those Toxotes holding strong here for Brickhead. Brickhead going to be moving in his Heliopolis here as well. Iron Male Champion Archers, Ambassadors coming in for some reason there. But Brickhead here, he's about to be caught up in tech. And he hasn't really lost any position here. As we see another fortress coming up for Brickhead. He's ready to spam these buildings out all over the place. Punkstar still floating resources. Still no towers up for kind of either play. Oh, you have a bunch of towers actually around this town center for the time being here to help defend it. As the fortress on this position for Punkstar going to be getting taken down very, very fast. Punkstar at 19 donkey caravans. Brickhead's at 17 donkey caravans with a little bit more villages. So it's very, very equal in terms of economy. As Punkstar just about to get this fortress up to defend over here as the wall's getting broken down on this position to break through on this location to stop that trade route from continuing here. Do we have the Divine Blood? Still no Divine Blood here for Punkstar. So he is actually... There was basically no reason for him to go through Aphrodite here. You should have, like, if you don't have Divine Blood, why did you go through Aphrodite? So do see, yeah, the upgrades here is missing the wood upgrades. Punkstar is, whereas Brickhead's got everything else. The big thing is he only actually needs to go up to Bowsaw and then get Divine Blood, and then the Carpenters is actually a negative impact in the wood gather rate, which is a little bit strange to say, but it is the truth. If you're aware of that, you're aware of that. I learned about that today, actually. Thank you for the raiding party, Illuminati. Hope your stream went well. Punkstar still trying to break through onto this position, but I mean, Brickhead getting himself champion infantry now. Aegis shield, stone walls. He's going to have all of the techs that he needs. We're still seeing Hippocon coming in here for Punkstar, which I think is... It's just a complete mistake at this point. The towers are just too strong. Hoplites are better in pretty much every single way, apart from against the town center. The Hoplites have better survivability than those Hippocons at this point, I think. Because now Brickhead's getting himself engineers. He has pushed through onto this location. The guard tower's starting to come in onto the trade route here. Punkstar needs to reposition his trade route, which he is doing, onto this location. He can put a wall up. He can delete that trade route. No problems there. Does take a little bit of damage, though. It's now dropped down to 0 population. Meanwhile, the town center of Brickhead starting to get sieged by Heliopolis as the Architects is coming in. There is now a fortress on this position, so that wall we were talking about that can come up over here and Petropolis can wedge themselves in is still possible. There's also, obviously, this location here. If Punkstar wants to put a fortress down in this position, he can do so, but he doesn't have the resources for the time being, as Punkstar still trying to just break through onto this corner of the map here. Looks like Punkstar's side build on the top side of the map here has been dealt with. As you see, one Gashafidi opening up the walls on the top side here, as well as Brickhead might be able to just break through here. A little gate on this location. Put a wall up over here. You can take down this position as well with some Gashafidi, or even just snipe it down with Punkstar maybe not being able to work that one out. As Crenellation's now coming through for Brickhead as well. The fortress almost up on this position to continue being able to break through here. Punkstar needs to put some effort in to dealing with this as more villagers coming through for Brickhead. Brickhead's got all the resources in the world here. He's not really losing units all too fast. He's got his town center back up to full HP. The guard tower's in position to defend here. So he's more than happy to just continue pushing through on this position. Meanwhile, the units here for Brickhead going to be able to secure this large gold mine in the corner of the map as well. Not that Brickhead really needs it. He's got plenty of gold in the bank with those 23 caravans there that he's got. So you also see a stray Gashafidi going to be able to come in and start sniping down watchtowers relatively fast as well. So we see another tower coming up on this position, still defending over here nicely. There's another fortress coming up for Punkstar. The thing about fortresses is, while, yeah, putting them up on the front is a good idea, they're not really cost effective when compared to towers. Towers, if you build 2 towers, they're basically doing more damage than the fortress is doing. And they cost less resources. It's like, well, it costs the same resource. It doesn't cost favor. So it costs about 100 resources less for Greek. So putting towers up, they also go up faster. So towers, when you're playing aggressive, are definitely the option you want to be going for. As Brickhead's now got himself the fortified walls here. He's still spending resources nicely. Draft horses coming through. Towers getting taken down on that position. We do see walls up here for Punkstar. As Punkstar, I mean, he's still not quite worked out how to make this all go. As now the Heliopolis trying to make their way through to take out this fortified town center. If Brickhead wants, he can start setting up on this position here now. He's got full control of it as he's distracted Punkstar over onto this location nicely as the tower does get taken down. Hades Shades coming through here to try and deal with all of the Punkstar, or all of the Brickhead units, as Brickhead's not really putting much effort into this location beyond towers and a handful of units. Everything else is coming over onto this position as the Heliopolis do get taken down. Brickhead gonna have to retreat back for the time being here. As the army just gonna find itself sat in on this position here. As the Heliopoli rolling forward to try and deal with each other. Villagers going to come back in. Losing that fortress does mean that Brickhead loses this kind of position to some degree. He does have towers here, but Punkstar's got to be happy about the progress he's made. And this is kind of a mistake here from Punkstar. I'll talk a little bit about the aim of a Heliopolis and why just sieging down a town center, unless you've got tons of Heliopolis, is generally not going to work too well for you. You basically want to use your siege to take down the enemy siege, or if you've got Heliopolis. Heliopolis are pretty good against units as well. Take down the units that your opponent has until there's not really much left, and then you can take down the fortified town center with a much better chance of actually finishing that one off. Otherwise, you just lose the units. We do see villagers now sneaking through onto this position. Towers coming down. This is a big move here for Brickhead. Also seeing Hands of Towers coming through for Brickhead as well, with an intention of starting to make some Colossus here in this game. Normally Colossus, not the best unit to build in this matchup because of the Perseus, but there is always going to be a chance that if you get 3 Colossus out, you can kill off a town center before the Perseus is even built, let alone one Colossus gets sniped, and then the Perseus can't do much else, as the villagers all now getting sniped down there. 1 tower is up, but that's not going to be enough there. As we see the walls coming back up for Punkstar, he's trying to switch on in this game to push back. As Brickhead here, he's got the resources right now to drop a Titan if he wants. He doesn't quite have the wood, but he can make that happen fairly soon. So do we see Colossus queued up? No, Colossus not coming up just yet for Brickhead, as he can buy wood if he wants to get himself the Titan here. He does have the economic advantage for the time being. 50 villagers versus 50 villagers here, as both players starting to trim down their villager count. Do we see villagers getting created here? Just 1 town center creating villagers to make up for the lost villagers coming through. As Beast Slayer coming through for Brickhead as well. This is a really important technology to grab when you go for a Titan, because it allows your Gastrophede to get some bonus damage against myth units, specifically for dealing with the enemy Titan. So once both players get a Titan out, you can kind of get an advantage by having a handful of Gastrophede to take that Titan down as well. As Punkstar still trying to push through here. His walls are up now. I'd love to see some Petropolis in on this position to help out. But, I mean, Heliopoli Toxotes, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. My idea here is you use your hoplites here to target down the enemy hoplite. You use your hoplites and infantry units to kill off the enemy Heliopoli. And then after that, you garrison into the Heliopolis with your hoplites to save them from falling to mass Toxotes. And you can also get bonus damage coming through onto the Heliopolis as well. As Levy Infantry Signal Fires coming through as well. Punkstar doesn't quite have the resources to get his own Titan up, but he doesn't really have to worry about it too much here. He can get his own Titan out a little bit after Brickhead starts his, and it should be fine, because there's all the walls up, and it's going to be really tough for the Titan to traverse over onto that position. As the fortified town center now starting to get taken down, we see some walls getting thrown up over here, as well as Shoulder of Talos coming through for Brickhead. Army going to be retreating back ever so slightly now, as the Petropolis going to be taking this town center down. Brickhead starting to repair this one up. We do see the Titan Gate now coming through for Brickhead, as Punkstar, he can buy food, he can buy wood if he wants, as he does do so, and now he's going to be going up through the Titan Age as well, as that last villager getting trained. He might be kicking himself for that. That could be enough time he's giving to Brickhead to get his Titan out and push through. I'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, on the top corner of the map, we do see that Brickhead has snuck through with these Gastrophedes, going after the town center of Punkstar. Punkstar does notice it, but he needs to send some units over there. Quick smart. These Gastrophedes are really strong. 8 Gastrophedes here is roughly equal to about 3 Petropoli targeting down a town center, as the villagers attempting to repair this one back up as best as he possibly can, as meanwhile the units here able to push back over here ever so slightly. As the Gastrophedes are getting taken down, we do see another temple coming up over here. Have the Gastrophedes being dealt with, or will the town center fall here? As Brickhead's Gastrophedes do look like they are going to be all picked off. The town center will be surviving with an inch of HP here, it seems. And Brickhead going to have to pull back and rethink that attack. If he had a couple more Gastrophede there, he probably could have actually finished the town center off. There was a couple of kind of idols there as well. This Brickhead has also got some options of making Colossus here as well. as he is actually starting to make those to push through, breaking down those walls. Handful of units out for Punkstar, but no real answer to the Colossus here for the time being. As we do see the Titan Gate coming down, 50% behind the Brickhead Titan Gate. Should be completely fine here. Right now we've got 19 villages for Brickhead. How many villages is Punkstar going to be using? 18, 25 villages here for Punkstar to get this Titan Gate up as well. So units still pushing through here. Do we see Punkstar or Brickhead trying to break through on this bottom side of the map? I mean, he's got every chance to do this. I think things that really make for really good late game players are basically what Brickhead did here when he moved those gas graffiti in to target this town center. While that happens, the great that's what makes a good late game player, those types of moves. But what makes a great player is a player who does this move on this town center while also making a move to put towers in, put pressure onto a trade route as well. Doing those things at exactly the same time to distract your opponent, pull them multiple different places on the map at once. As we see, the town center is kind of back up to full HP here. We will be seeing the gas graffitis coming back in to try and target this town center down yet again. Titan just about up here for Brickhead. Obviously, he's got less villages on the Titan, but he's going to come out first. And basically, here you can expect the Titans to trade basically equally and the game to continue along in the current state fairly simply. As the gas graffiti is coming back up here, we will be seeing the fortified town centers, fortified walls, excuse me, starting to get shanked down. Brickhead's got villages up on this side as well, so he can use those to wall this back up as the Titan does pop out, yells to the world and says, "Hi everyone, I'm here, and I've got 3.75 speed." So the Titan going to be wandering across the map here, basically to be greeted by Punkstar's Titan. But we do have to remember the Beast Slayer has come through. We will be seeing this town center targeted down. Champion Toxotes. While they don't do... How much bonus damage? 600% bonus damage versus buildings. So they're doing 11 times 6 plus 11, right? Or 11 plus 600%. So like 70 damage a second to the town center, plus this 95% pierce armor. So you got to then take this 70 damage down by 95%, whatever that is how much damage those Toxotes are doing a second. As the Titan comes through. Imagine if these were gas graffiti. As the Titan comes in, bashes the ground, you're going to be able to take down all of those Toxotes incredibly fast here. As the gas graffiti did indeed manage to take down Punkstar's town center when all of that was going on. We do see the Titan coming up to the top side of the map. Those gas graffitis are Beast Slayer gas graffitis doing 50% extra bonus damage versus myth units. As the Titan going to be pushing through here, trying to break down the fortress as fast as it can. As what's Punkstar doing with his own Titan? Going to be coming after those gas graffiti, and Brickhead just pulls back here. As Brickhead now pushing through onto this position, as Punkstar seems to have lost his grip in this game. As the Titan breaks down that fortress, going to be pushing up to the top side of the map to deny the town center from going up. As the Brickhead gas graffiti pull back ever so slightly. They've done about 100 damage to each other here. As the town center going to be getting shot up as fast as it possibly can. As the gas graffiti, simply put, just going to come back and start sniping down the town center yet again. This Brickhead's got plenty of resources here. He just needs to send those villagers over here and start towering up this location. That would be a really good move at this point, as Brickhead's Titan and the Titan of Punkstar greet each other. There is a Perseus here already for Brickhead. So he's going to be winning this fight fairly nice. And not only that, there's also a gold Colossus here as well to help out. As the gas graffiti do manage to stop the town center for a little bit here. Some units coming through for Brickhead to try and deal with those Petropoli on this location as the wall's going to come up. As he does manage to get that up, there's a gap in the walls there as well. As in the end here, Brickhead's Titan is going to live with about 500 HP after all is said and done. 300 HP? 500 HP? 600 HP? 600 HP after all is said and done. So he's going to be able to put more and more pressure onto this position as the Gash-Graffiti retreating back. Villagers coming through here. We do see an attempted wall to come up onto this position. As that happens, Punkstar now gets access to another 20 population as we do see the walls coming up over here. That's going to be immediately taken down with 500 HP remaining. Even if this town center does end up getting back up, which, I mean, I'm not sure it's going to be. I mean, I guess it will be. It will be able to get taken down here relatively quickly by the Titan. I mean, Brickhead here is just trading Titan HP for resources to kill off those infantry units as fast as he possibly can. He's still trying to break through and take down this town center, but Punkstar manages to recover after all is said and done. There's some towers now coming up on this position. As the Titan getting closer and closer to falling, as the Ajax now tanking everything. We do see the Colossus now trying to push through here. As with Brickhead able to set up some watchtowers here. This is what I was talking about earlier. Watchtowers are so much stronger than fortresses in controlling a location. They deal 15.2 damage times 2. So between the two of them, they're doing 60 damage a second. Whereas the fortress is only dealing... Where is the fortress here? The fortress is only doing 25 damage. I guess the fortress does 25, 50, 70. Maybe I'm wrong. The fortress does... Oh, no. The fortress does 75 damage a second. What did I say this was doing? 60 damage a second. So I guess the guard tower is a little bit worse than the fortress in terms of DPS. But the guard towers have got crenellations. So they're better against cavalry. And they build faster. I think the build faster part is very important. I'm going to stick with my original idea that guard towers over fortress. But it's not that simple. Anyways. Metropolis now on this position. The Colossus taking down the town center. Punkstar has yet again lost his town center. Still no effort to push in on this location. I think this is a big, big mistake from both players to not... well, obviously Punkstar's happy that Brickhead's not going over there, but we have seen the town center falling on this position yet again as Punkstar is inching his way towards a victory here. Punkstar's got little to no resources in the bank at this point, and taking down all these towers is a very, very difficult job to make work. As a conscript infantry coming through for Brickhead as well to help him spam those champion hoplites. So he's got so many resources. He can get these like nearly useless upgrades. Conscript infantry and levy infantry, they just don't give that big of a boost. It's just better generally to just build more military buildings than get those upgrades because it's just cheaper. I mean, once you have about 10 military buildings, it's probably better to get the conscript upgrades. But they just cost so many resources. We do see an attempt from Brickhead to move in onto this corner as well. Some hoplites over here. Where are the villagers? The villagers going to start roaming forward here. 17 villagers. The thing is here, after all's said and done, Punkstar has got the economic advantage because he's got Divine Blood here. Though I guess Carpenters is actually slowed down a bit. Punkstar doesn't realize you're not supposed to get Carpenters with Divine Blood, but it is what it is. Anyways, Fortress coming down on this position now. Towers coming down for Punkstar. There's nothing on this position. There is a Perseus, which can snipe that Gold Colossus in its tracks there. It's Punkstar. He's about to be in a very, very sad position as his trade route is about to be greeted by a big, fat fortress. And there's not really many other places where Punkstar can go to hold on in this game. He can move in like a market over here next, and that's going to be really hurting his gold income. He doesn't have this town center anymore. There's some Colossus just waiting on this position here for Brickhead. He's got 3 of them there. See if he's going to be noticing that as he can break down the fortified walls and start pushing through here. As you do see some siege coming in onto this position. Fortresses coming down. Military buildings, academies coming down here as well. Punkstar's at 114 population. He's got about 2k food in the bank here as the Gash-Graffiti starting to get some damage done. We do see the Colossus now about to break down the fortified walls on this position here as well. So we do see the fortress here coming up. There's no military units on this position right now for Brickhead, but I mean, he doesn't... This is mostly just a distraction here. If he loses these villages, doesn't get the fortress up, it's not the biggest of problems because he's going to be able to grab this town center very, very shortly as we do see the fortified walls. Where is he going? Just deciding to go elsewhere. The town center still not going to be able to come up here. The gas defeater are too strong on this position as the army pushing through here for Punkstar trying to deal with this. So you do see the Brickhead Petropolis taking down some guard towers from afar. Villagers now going to have to contend with the Colossus on multiple different locations. As wait, Punkstar managed to get in here with a wall. That's what happened. Nice play by Punkstar. He gets a little bit of a distraction onto Brickhead. I'm not sure how that happened with the walls up. I guess there's a gap here. Don't ask me why there's a gap there, but there's a gap there. As the Colossus now going to be tearing down this fortress, the town center here, getting close to going up. Got to be careful, Brickhead. He's not paying attention. The town center might go up here. Punkstar's almost got it. Well, Punkstar gets his town center back up. How long can he hold it, though, is the big question. As over here, we do see the fortresses are both taken down. The trade route still in, raring to go here in this game from Punkstar. As the Colossus now pushing through here to deal with the fortified town center, and it's going to be getting taken down very, very fast. Punkstar is back up to full population as the Perseus comes in to snipe one of those Colossus. He's going to have to wait for the recharge to pick off another one there, but the walls and Heliopolis and Petropoli are just so absurdly strong in this position as the fortified town center will be getting taken down here. After all the repairing, it's just not enough. And Punkstar is still alive, but barely. As Brickhead trying to take down all the buildings around this position to completely remove Punkstar from this position, and he's managing to do so nicely here. Punkstar finishing up his walls over here to prevent any sort of random villagers moving through. I mean, there's this position here as well that Brickhead can jump into, which is kind of separated from the walls and everything else. If he can try and get through there, he can cause even more problems. But at this point now, Brickhead is just so far in front in population because he's taken the town center down that what can Punkstar do but just fall back? We do see an attempt at going after this town center here, but there's just so many towers on it. There's no siege. You can only really take this town center down with siege. There's still this location that Punkstar hasn't taken advantage of. And in the 44th minute of this game, Punkstar does end up tapping out as Brickhead claims the grindy win with his Hades here. Well played by Brickhead, but Punkstar had every opportunity to win this game. He had the first... He got to the Mythic Age first. He had the Iron upgrades first. He defended the Underworld first. He had the Aphrodite as well, so he should be able to be spamming units out better. Not units out better, but have more economy and spam buildings out better. But he just could not make it work. Anyways, that's the game. If you want to see some post-game statistics here, there you go. Brickhead has definitely got the units killed, lost under control there. It's a big reason why he had so many resources to place buildings down everywhere and cause chaos. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.